Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Toxic Happy Hour with your co-hosts, PUBLORD.HODL and Danish HODL. Today with a very special guest, Brady Swenson, aka Citizen Bitcoin. As you know, Brady, this is where we are toxic towards scams in general. That's kind of the theme of our little pop thing we got going on here. Welcome, Brady.
Thanks, man. Good to see you, Anders. Good to see you, Puppy. How's it going?
Good.
Fantastic, man. Hey, I'm sitting out here with a beer, so can't complain.
Early afternoon Friday beer. Happy hour starts a little early on Fridays, I think.
Yeah. So what are you drinking today, Brady? We're always very curious, and it's like our first priority of the show here to do some unpaid product placement.
Yeah, I have. So it is kind of early, and I ran out of beer, which I should have had a beer. I didn't have time to run over to the liquor store, so I have a very weak Manhattan, which some rye whiskey.
That's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, it's whiskey or?
Yeah, rye whiskey Manhattan.
Okay. Poppy was shaking his head. Sorry. Cherry?
Little cherry bitters. Yeah, some brown sugar, simple syrup. Just a little bit. It's good.
All right. Poppy, I saw you were shaking your head. What's up with that? And what are you drinking? You must be doing something.
No, I'm shaking my head like, man, I should, maybe I'll switch over here halfway through the show. I can get some nice bourbon going or something.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm just doing, my standard afternoon pint, an IPA, local. Keep it easy, You got to sip the beers in the early afternoon. You hit that hard stuff too early. And,
I know, that's what I'm saying. I had to make a one.
Yeah,
I made a beer equivalent Manhattan.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I know Poppy never really cares what I'm drinking, so I'll just squeeze it in there. I'm having some morning coffee here in my favorite cup from Starbucks, New York. I love this kind of stuff.
It's not that I don't care. It's just it's either coffee or some liquor you're destroying by adding Pepsi to it. Okay. So the minute you say
anymore.
No more Pepsi. All right.
No, I can drink Pepsi, but then it's going to be only Pepsi. But hey, listen, Brady, as we pride ourselves, we have the best chat in this space here. We may not have the best host, but we do have a great chat. BDC Moon Guy is one of the regulars, and we love him. And he saw yesterday your show, so a small plug for that. Great interview yesterday, Brady, with Dr. Chad. So that's on Brady's channel. Everyone should go over there, subscribe, and watch the show from yesterday. What was going on in that? Tell us about the show and what you learned, Brady.
Yeah, Dr. Noah Kaufman, really cool dude who I got to know through Swan. He wrote a really cool piece, basically geared toward doctors. He's an ER doc. And focused, written for doctors on why doctors should hold Bitcoin, at least like 1-2% of your net worth in Bitcoin, and you need to do that. And yeah, we helped him kind of flesh that out a little bit, and he's a great writer. And so we talked about that, his need for, or his desire for doctors to be holding Bitcoin, and then he's also just a really super interesting guy. Like he was an American Ninja Warrior for several years. He's an avid rock climber. He's started like 10 businesses and sold them off over the years. He's an investor. He's I don't know how he has time to do all this shit, but he's a super interesting guy, smart. And it was a lot of fun to talk to him. That's on the Citizen Bitcoin YouTube channel or podcast, citizenbitcoin.world.
Yeah, and also we do have your Twitter handle down below in the YouTube show notes. So I presume on your Twitter you have links to your YouTube and everything.
All the shit that I do. It's like I'm doing like four or five shows a week now. It seems either a guest or host.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you're mixing now between a Swan Signal and your own channel, right? You're doing a little bit of both.
Yeah, Citizen Bitcoin's been around for 2 years, a little more than 2 years. So I got to keep that going. That was episode 112. Been doing one a week for 112 weeks. I think there were a couple of breaks in there. So yeah, that's still going. And then Swan Signal is on Tuesdays. with Swan, and then Swan Lounge on Fridays. Brecky hosts that one. Sometimes I go in and hang out. I'll be right after this one. I'll be on Swan Lounge with the Casa team. So BTC Moon Guy, you gotta head over to the Swan Signal channel and hang out after this one.
Oh, nice. So I know that Casa got some flack because Jameson Lopp were endorsing a token built on Ethereum, but as far as I'm concerned, there's not. I can't see anything wrong with Casa itself and their products. I mean, it's products that I would be interested in myself for sure.
Yeah, I'm a customer. They're Bitcoin only for sure. Lopp was involved. It was like a kind of a brush with Ethereum, I guess. There is for some reason they like decided to tokenize their shares on Ethereum for whatever reason, and they were like early investors or something. I don't know. So they were just shares basically. They were equity, but for some reason this company decided to. Anyway, it's a little too close to shitcoining for my taste, for sure. But whatever.
You know what's funny is I remember talking to Anders about this when it happened, and as I said to him, it's the same thing. You get like Trace Meyer, who just went full Mimblewimble and just destroyed his credibility. It was a close brush. And I think the big thing for most was that no one knew up front. How they're being, how are you guys being reimbursed for your consulting and all that? And all of a sudden, when you put that out with your name behind it here, I mean, that's just that's the reality with the cyber hornets, good or bad. No better friends in the space and no worse enemies. But yeah, he's one of the few guys. He got his hair singed on that one, but I think he pulled himself back from the fire.
Samson Mao as well was on that cap
table. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, whatever. It is what it is. Jameson's got a lot of cred to destroy. So it definitely was not a Trace Mayer level event. And honestly, I have an interesting sort of theory about Trace Mayer. I think it was an intentional exit strategy.
I've heard that rumor before. Yeah, go on. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the way it all played out, right? So in the podcast, like leading up to his exit, which I guess was earlier this year. Man, was that January of this year or something?
Yeah.
Okay, and so late 2019, he was doing a bunch of podcasts and he was talking about privacy and Bitcoin and how there are issues, and he was concerned about it. I was in a Telegram group with him, and he was talking about base layer privacy and coin joining. He, very suspicious that coin joining was, actually effective, etc. And that was all kind of set up for going to this conference in Las Vegas, Tone-based conference, right? Where he was handing out these shitty little fucking flyer things that had Mimblewimble shield on it, right?
Yep.
After whatever, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it was, of just like Bitcoin maximalism, great Bitcoin education content, amazing interviews. Like it even says on his Twitter profile, right? He's the Babe Ruth of Bitcoin shills, right? Which he pretty much was. After all of that, like he decides to throw it away. He built up over a few months to this moment, and he knew that everybody was there from Bitcoin Twitter that he needed to destroy his reputation. So he just shills it out over the weekend and disappears. Now, the big thing that makes me think it was intentional is during those podcasts in the few months leading up to 2020, he was also talking about how the first decade of Bitcoin was for like community, like working together, building Bitcoin, building the protocol, working together to educate about Bitcoin. And he's like, the next 10 years is going to be an all-out battle for like real estate on the blockchain. It's going to get vicious, right? Bitcoin has grown up. It's a real thing, and it's just going to go crazy. And you got to just lock down and battle for your space on the blockchain. So I think that's what he's doing. I think he's just hunkered down, ready for battle, and trying to gain back some privacy, some OPSEC maybe a little bit. And so I think the only way you can do it at that point is just self-immolate, your reputation and be forgotten.
That's a good way to do it. I remember listening to him once because he was out there. Remember, he was out there with American HODL, and I believe Adam Meister was with him there too. But The one thing I remember seeing him on one of the shows, and dear God, like he had this whole thing like this glacial protocol. I mean, the level of security. And I'm thinking to myself,
Oh yeah.
I'm not a, I'm an average, ham and egg with technology, but I'm thinking, who in the hell would ever understand what that security level that he goes through?
Yeah, that's insane. Like but when you're holding thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of Bitcoin, like you figure it out. I'm happy with Casa because the level of Bitcoin I hold, I feel is absolutely secure. But if I had tens of thousands of Bitcoin, I probably would have gone like a Winklevoss style. Like if you read the book Bitcoin Billionaires, which is just a fun read, I listened to it on Audible over a weekend one time, and they go through their like what they did because they bought 210,000 Bitcoin back in the day, way back in the day, 1% of the supply. And so they have it geographically distributed different places around the US. So they had like this key ceremony, and they each like drove to different places or flew to different places, these like banks in different regions of the country, in different states, and deposited these like parts of these keys all over the US. So that was interesting.
So, I have a question about that because I've seen, I think Casa HODL, and I believe was it Unchained Capital is also, to me, it was always the biggest thing or barrier for a lot of people coming in. A ton of there's a guy actually at the bar here now. He buys his GBSC and he's happy with that.
GBTC, yeah.
Or GBTC, right? I don't even know what it is because I just buy Bitcoin. But
yeah.
But there's got to be the biggest barrier to me was always the technological side and them understand not your keys, not your coins. So. Yeah. What's your set? How does that multi-sig work? Like with Casa, what are the steps you go through to set that up?
Oh, it's super simple. First of all, Pardis, I see you're in the chat. I didn't have my pin on. I don't usually wear this one. This is the orange pill pin. BTC pins. This is what I usually wear on Swan shows. Got the old anyway. Shout out to Pardis, but yeah, there you go. Casa setup is super easy. So you just download the app, set up your account, and if you do the basic account, it's $10 a month.
Right.
Like, super simple, super cheap, and you get basic 2 of 3 multi-sig. And so you take 2. You can have 1 key on your phone if you want, or you can use 2 hardware wallets. So you can do 1 on your phone and 1 hardware wallet, or you can do 2 hardware wallets. Then Casa has the 3rd key. You have to have 2 of 3 to spend funds, but they have a backup basically. So if you lose one of your keys, if your phone is stolen, or like you lose one of your hardware wallets or whatever, you can just rotate your keys by yourself in the app. And like it's all automated. Oh, wow. So the Casa key comes in and is like, okay, we're gonna validate this new key and make it part of this a new 2 of 3 multi-sig account, but it's all done in the app. So once you set it up, like to add the hardware wallet, you just plug the hardware wallet into your computer, and the app recognizes it, and then it sends you to Ledger or Trezor, or they also support Cold Card, and you just do a couple of steps on their website. It confirms back to your Casa app, and then you're set up. And it probably takes maybe 5-10 minutes, probably 10 minutes total. If you got 2 of 3 multi-sig, and you just deposit into the account, you can spend from the app as well.
So when you need to spend and you have access to it from your mobile phone, you still need to use one of the other keys in other places as well, right? If you want to spend from your mobile phone.
Yeah. So there is also a single key wallet on the phone. So you can keep like some change in there or whatever if you want to spend some Bitcoin on something. I'm not a big Bitcoin spender, but there are people who are. So if you want to keep some Bitcoin on your phone, you can keep it in the single key wallet on the phone. But yeah, if you want to spend your multi-sig, you have to create the transaction on the app, and then it'll guide you through it. You plug your it's basically the same process. You plug your wallet into your computer, and you just kind of go through the steps that they guide you through, and you sign the transaction from both keys, and then it's broadcast.
All right. How safe Sorry, Poppy. Sometimes I just mute you because of the pop noise. I mean, we're bringing the real pop atmosphere, but sometimes
Gets a little loud now.
muting. Yeah. Brady, what I'm thinking is, how is this secure from a someone attacking you with a $5 wrench, something like that?
Yeah, distributed multi-sig helps with that because I have 2 hardware wallets on my Casa account, and I have one hardware wallet in one place and one hardware wallet in another place, and then I have to actually go to like 2 different locations. I do not have them in my house, and so it's similar to what the Winklevi do, right? But they're not as far apart, but they're in 2 different physical locations. So if somebody wanted my Bitcoin, and I don't have any way to access any of my Bitcoin, like right now, I can't access it. So if somebody wanted, like even a tiny amount, if somebody wanted to get my Bitcoin, they'd have to take me and take me to these places to get the funds. And
don't give them the manual on how to do it, but yeah.
I mean, it's obvious how you do it, but that's what prevents it, right? The nightmare scenario is kidnapping, someone you love, and then but there are rich people all over the place. I mean, and that doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen that often. It's hard to do, and there are dire consequences to it. So it's I mean, it's not anything more than kidnapping somebody's a billionaire's family member or something. It's the same thing.
I'm pretty sure the consequences are very harsh, especially in like US or the Western world in general, for someone to do something like that. I think in situation like that, you don't even want to consider whether you call the authorities enough. If somebody kidnaps a family member, the best way out definitely is you got to involve the authorities.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You don't negotiate with terrorists. You got to take them down. Poppy, I gave you sound back, and I'll go get Poppy. So take it away, man.
Oh yeah. So man, the perfect setup for me, I think, is that I just leave it all on Coinbase, because when the price goes up, the servers will crash, and I can never get it anyway off of there.
That's hilarious.
That's the ideal solution, man. It's like, what's great is, because I just went over my 3-year anniversary started, but it's like clockwork. Price starts to go up, a bit, and Coinbase goes down in a second.
Like how they had all bear market to work on that shit.
Oh,
how are they not?
Yeah.
Poppy is describing his security model. Just keep it on Coinbase because they're down most of the time.
And you can't, and then you're not tempted to sell. Yeah. you'll just hodl forever.
What's up, Greg?
Greggy here. As Greggy noticed, we managed to rope in Brady to a show.
Yeah,
that's right. We got him here.
It's so fucking hard to rope me into a fucking Bitcoin show. I get you though, Greg. Yeah. Plus, Anders. I've worked with Anders. Anders worked on Swan. He's an advisor. So
So the good thanks likewise, and as I said before in the green room before we went live, would have loved to have bought that car, so I had to pass your place. It would have been fun. It's always fun to hang out with Bitcoiners. Really, the type of people you meet in Bitcoin, or as Poppy would call it, crypto. But we'll leave that.
Oh man.
So Brady, you should have seen the other day. We were doing which show was this? Poppy,
it was Ali.
Oh yeah,
Tahini's guy.
Oh yeah.
Ali,
he's cool. So, talk to him too.
Yeah.
So Poppy, he misspoke and he said, I never met a bad person in crypto.
Oh damn.
So we've been butchering him since then. It was a wonderful misspoke.
And what's funny is because that's the only word more cringeworthy to me than crypto is blockchain. Okay, and it popped out crypto. So I'll take my beating. I said it. I admit it. But we all know, I mean, Bitcoin and nothing else. Absolutely nothing else.
Bubby, like you're holding your Bitcoin on Coinbase, and you're talking about crypto. Like, what's going on, man?
I think this is his Trace Mayer strategy, like just, you know, totally obfuscating, confusing people, and they're like, we're not even gonna go to him because he's talking about crypto, so everything has gone to zero anyway.
I gotta buy a Ripple dip. Give me 1 second. XRP just dropped.
You don't have your buys set up. You don't have orders in there stacked up on Coinbase Pro.
Something like that, man.
What's up, Plan Marcus? And RD is, I think this goes out to you, Brady. Poor you. Anyways, yeah, we as usual, we haven't really prepared anything. No topics, but I had to choose something in the tweet when I sent it out. I wrote when 20,000. Let's pick at that a little bit, Brady. When are we going to hit that magical 20,000, and what's going to happen after that? Are we going to go down, or are we going to go up?
Well, once we break it, we're going up. I think there's obviously a lot of selling happening here, but I think it's being scooped up by some strong hands, institutions probably, big buyers, you know. Obviously, they've been talking about it. It's on CNBC every friggin' morning now. You know, there's a Bitcoin segment basically on it on CNBC every morning. So I don't think we're going to get a big consolidation dip here. Like, I think we're probably going to chill here for a little while. In 2016, like there was a touch of the all-time high, and then it was like 4 months later until it actually broke through. So it just depends on how much sell pressure there is here. I know there's a lot of demand happening right now. I think there's more demand happening now than there was in late 2016 for sure. So I don't know, man. There's people cashing out right now. I don't know. I think they might get burned.
I'm in full agreement with you because one thing I learned this summer, well, you know, back in April or even March, you know, 5,000, 6,000. But I remember, you know, after 3 years, so you start to recognize things. I'm not a TA guy by any stretch of the imagination, but what I found interesting was, man, I was like, man, this thing's hanging around 7,000 for a long time. And then I remember when it was at 9,000. At 9,000, it was there for almost 2 months between 9,000 and 9,500. It was just bouncing around there, and I was never used to seeing that. Well, comes to find out, that's back, you know, up in 10, 11,000. That's when Saylor was getting into this, I think. So you, like you said, there's a lot. There are people buying. So there are people trying to sell their ass off, I think, at 20,000. And guess what? The bulls and new money aren't having it. Because as soon as it drops, it is bouncing right back up.
It's totally right back up. But I feel like there's sellers out there that are trying to press it down, you know, press the price down and hold it down. But I feel like there's long-term investors, institutions, big buyers coming in and saying like, thank you. As long as we can, you know, as I can buy at 19,000, I'm happy, right? Because they know that once this thing like bounces, it goes up, I don't think it's gonna be an insane year. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna be 4 months until we break 20K like it was in 2016, 2017. Maybe, I don't know if it's gonna happen by the end of the year. Maybe we just chill here for a while. But once business really gets started going again, and those institutions are, you know, like starting to execute on their next year's plans, et cetera. Like, you know, financial institutions kind of shut down toward the end of the year. There's a lot fewer deals and stuff. So maybe in January, like the real accumulation plan execution starts.
Brady, right? I don't want to hear that FUD again. I heard that FUD when I started in 2017. The
December FUD. December is usually a bad month for Bitcoin, though, historically.
Hey, that's what I started in December, but I remember in January, it's like, okay, all the businesses are going back to work and they're going to be buying this. And I remember it was when for Chinese New Year's, all these people are going home for Chinese New Year's. So I remember Chinese New Year's FUD, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, all these people going home, they're gonna in Asia, they're all going to buy Bitcoin.
Right? The Thanksgiving run. I think you got to be in a bull market for the holidays to really make a big difference.
Yeah. Brady said, as you were saying, and I think this is really interesting. Like who the hell are selling now? Because as you're saying, some people are selling it. Someone's trying to. I don't know if they're necessarily trying to keep the price down, but I think it's just really a matter of, look, some people that got to Bitcoin, they were lucky. Not everyone has it all figured out and understand that we're going to infinity, like the three of us probably believe. And there are some people that bought it, maybe as an investment. We see that in every FOMO bull run. People are buying it because the price goes up like that, then they sell it because the price goes like that. And people selling it now, I think there's people out there that that don't think it's going to 30,000 or 288,000 or whatever. But it's still mind blowing with having GBDC and PayPal and Cash App together buying up like twice the mining supply or something like that. Like, why are we not? Who's selling? But it's a really funny, interesting question.
That's something that I think is not really a big deal. Like the mining supply thing, like so-and-so is buying up all the mining supply, like the new issuance every day, just because that's a tiny drop in the liquidity bucket, right? Like there's 3 million Bitcoin, give or take, on sale in any given day. It's a super liquid asset. And like 900 coming on, out in the market in a day doesn't really matter. So, I mean, it's fun to like talk about, but it honestly doesn't matter for the price. So, I mean, in my opinion, like it's 900 out of 3 million, Yeah.
That's right. It's, as you're saying, the trading volume is so much bigger than the mining supply. It's not only about the mining supply finding new buyers. There's a lot of traders, so people that bought early and they have a lot and now they want to buy a car or pay off the mortgage or whatever. I don't know.
But I mean, the more Bitcoin that comes out of the liquid market, right? Like who knows? Like after this run, if 1 million Bitcoin are bought up by strong hands or whatever, like long-term thinking institutions and hodlers, then that is a third of the liquid market gone. So that's obviously going to affect supply. So that's why like the HODL demand is what really matters to me. Like if we see, I feel like we're seeing the store of value narrative really take hold and be convincing to a lot more people. And so I think this cycle is going to be about a drastic or like significant, at least, increase in HODL demand. And that's when you really see the supply crunch, and big green candles, big, beautiful green candles.
And it's something I talk about on pretty much on each show now, Brady, is Saylor articulated perfectly for me, because to me, I'm thinking, you know what, if this thing is really as scarce as they say, why in the hell am I ever going to use it even as a medium of exchange? And you can leverage it down the road. And Michael, so he absolutely has shaped this narrative for the entire industry. Again, he's not selling for 100 years. He never will. And if he's not, other companies will not be. They're going to look at his strategy and say, yeah, this is the way to go.
I know probably right now you're pumping your Litecoin backs and saying that we need silver to the Bitcoin gold. But no, seriously, it's true that whatever Bitcoin GigaChat Michael Saylor just bought, he has no plans of selling it. However, 10 years from now, when Bitcoin is the only money, his products, his services will be sold in Bitcoin, and the salary he's paying to his employees will be in Bitcoin. And when they go to the supermarket, it is the only money that they want. So sorry, I just mute you shortly here, probably because of the background pop noise. In my opinion, not only will Bitcoin be obviously the store of value, but it will also be the medium of exchange. It's just, yes, it is super, super valuable, and that is why we use only few Satoshis when we're buying or selling something. But I don't see, if we had something else that was a medium of exchange, it would have an exchange rate with Bitcoin, right? And because of that, you might as well just use Satoshis. It makes no sense to have. I think Bitcoin takes up all roles: medium of exchange, unit of account, store of value. Brady, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I saw Saylor's tweet and I replied with a very strong disagreement. Like, I mean, him saying like, we should never transact in Bitcoin. It's only a savings technology. Like, I agree right now, and I'm not transacting in Bitcoin. And but I think it's extremely important to continue to build out like the Lightning Network and layers that will allow us to transact with Bitcoin much more easily and cheaply. And because like we're building this payments panopticon, like everything's digital already, but it's going to be digital, central bank digital currencies, and they're going to roll out over the next decade. And then they've got direct control, like direct to consumer money, right? You're literally, there's no bank that we don't really need another bank anymore. Because you're working straight with the money supplier, right? Well, once you start doing that, then everyone and every single transaction is digital, right? And it's panopticon, it's 1984. So we've got to have Lightning Network ready to roll, and we have to have something to opt out. We have to opt out of that payments network, that's controlled by governments and central banks. So I think it's super important for privacy reasons. And Saylor may disagree, but like I think he'll change his mind, down the road.
Well, I think with Saylor, and I get his point, because it's something I think of Bitcoin more right now as land, and gold secondary. How often do you transact with land and gold? No one does.
Exactly.
Rarely. It's big ticket items. So I see from his idea of it, this is digital scarcity, man. Digital land, digital gold. That look, I think you're going to find that they're going to try to develop tokens, but you try to tie it to Bitcoin. But why in the hell am I going to use Bitcoin itself? You see, I'll rarely do it unless I can see, nation states and corporations settling major deals with it. But yeah, why? I mean, yeah. So
I agree. Yeah. I think there will be. I think Bitcoin will be used on payment networks. I think it'll be staked into like Lightning Network payment channels. We're already seeing layer 3 stuff come out right now, so I think there's going to be RGB tokens and stuff that are built on top of Lightning Network. And who knows, maybe those will be even better and cheaper, and the payment network channels will just turn into like the base rails of the internet. So like the internet is built on TCP/IP, right? And like you have what do we call it? LNP-BP, the Lightning Network Protocol, Bitcoin protocol. So that's like a very good analogy between those two stacks. And we don't really like HTTP or TCP/IP is really buried. We don't ever interact with it, right? There's HTTP on top of that. There's other protocols that are built on top of it. So maybe we'll transact in some coins that are issued on top of RGB, but it'll still be based in Bitcoin, and it'll still have that inherent sovereignty and the privacy, the onion routing of Lightning Network, etc., built into that base layer. So yeah, we need that. Like we absolutely need that for privacy. We're in dire straits right now in terms of individual sovereignty and privacy.
Absolutely. I think so. The point I'm trying to make is I agree with you, Brady, that Lightning Network and things like Lightning Network is what we'll use to transact. But at the end of the day, if I'm selling Poppy a car or anything else, I don't want to accept anything else than Bitcoin. So we may use Lightning Network, but obviously it's Satoshis that are changing hands. People will not be wanting to sell any goods or services without getting Bitcoin for it, because winner of money is a winner takes all game, and Bitcoin has won already. I think the three of us agrees to that, and you can't give unless that Fed coin has a exact exchange rate and I can immediately change it to Bitcoin, then I'm not interested in it because it's not money to me. And for that very reason, because there's an exchange rate there, the only thing I'll accept anyway is Bitcoin. And I think it'll be like that for all of us. I think the answer really is, but yes, it'll be so valuable that we don't want to use it. But this is why we'll use so small parts of it. We'll be dealing in Satoshis. And I just want to give a shout out to Maria Camilla Campton, who is, I think, their first girl ever in our chat. Sorry?
Woman. Yes.
Well, Camilla, sorry, Maria and her, I'm calling her a girl. We spoke yesterday after the Bitcoin Magazine show. I had the chance to speak to Maria and her husband, and I warned her because I could see at that time she had like 80 followers and said, look, there's no girls in here. Do you do a couple of tweets and you'll have 5,000 followers? Because it is such a sausage party. But yeah, as I told you earlier, Brady, we have the best chat in the space, and now with Maria in it, it's going even
more
wilder. It's even more lit. That's right.
Yeah, shake your ass and say sailor is a bull, and you've got
oh my God,
5,000 followers overnight.
I just want to answer this question though from Maria, for someone who's just starting out and who wants to educate others about it and push for them to hodl. Where do you start? What? Let's all answer this question. I'd like to start with saying. I'm sitting in my living room and I have the TV usually running in the background. I started putting on Bitcoin TV from Swan Bitcoin, which is just having some of the best Bitcoin YouTube shows running in rotation. There's lots of really good content there. So I'm planning to tell my mother, put this on, keep it running. Okay, so
quick aside, and then we'll get back to the question. But it relates to the Sausage Fest, right? Like,
sorry,
this relates to the Sausage Fest. Okay, so we're running Bitcoin TV. I was looking at the demographics in the analytics the other day. 99% men, 1% female. All right, literally 99%. Like, that's crazy. So we call it Pornhub.tv. That's our underground name for it, because our logo looks like Pornhub's logo, and that was intentional.
I didn't know that.
We came up
Brady.
Well, so we Pornhub. Somebody in the community came up with the name. They're like, "Oh, your logo looks like Pornhub's," and they posted screenshots, right? And they're like, "Oh, Pornhub." So we bought the URL Pornhub.tv, and then we saw the demographics, and we're like, "Dude, there's way more people watching Pornhub than or men watching Pornhub than Pornhub." Like, it's true. We're crushing Pornhub on male viewership, so we need
on male dominance. I'm so glad that I found a passion where it's like pretty much 99.99% men. What am I even doing on Bitcoin Twitter?
Right? Oh man, we definitely need to diversify from dudes into the female demographic.
So yeah, I'm laughing because I don't even know if we could make a full 12-month calendar in this space with females. I don't know. There's a few, but yeah, there's not many for sure. But of course, that means that Bitcoin is just inherently sexist and racist and everything else, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's obviously and absolutely true. I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Anders.
Female are more welcome here than they realize, because there are none. You guys still need to answer my question. I know you guys are all like focused about this whole male thing. I can see Poppy thinking a lot about being excited about the 99.99% male. But
hey, I'm not here for number go up technology, my friend.
Where will you? Right. Where will you send newbies to get educated? Did we lose Brady, or what? Is the picture is frozen? Maybe Poppy, you can.
I'm still here. I might be on your end.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Poppy, if you start, where would you send newbies to learn about Bitcoin? Are you going to send them to Bitcoin Twitter or crypto Twitter, or where are you going to send them?
Hey, I tell you what, man. It's a good question, because I'll go back to December 2017 when there wasn't a whole lot in the space. You had, I had Andreas Antonopoulos videos for the most part, and you sort of went from there. I quickly fell into the Bitcoin maximalist hole and went down there, and thank God they saved me, because I got to sell off everything else. What I would say is, what I tell everyone is, one, just buy Bitcoin first. Start dollar cost averaging. You're not going to understand it. Just start buying it. That's the first step. And as you buy it, I'd point them to just the one that I wouldn't say toxic maximalist, but just stick with people that are Bitcoin only. And yes, it sounds like it. It's funny. It's the only thing in the world I don't like an echo chamber, but you need a Bitcoin echo chamber. So I would put them in Bitcoin Twitter. fully, because
Holy
guess
shit.
what? That's where you would get, well,
That's trial by fire right there.
Well,
I
it
agree.
is, but
I agree.
but it is, but anytime I ever had a doubt about something, because remember, I rode this down to 3,400, man. I rode it all the way down and back up, but it was at those lowest points that it was the guys on Bitcoin Twitter, all the classic, all the OGs, even like a Friar Haas, man. Friar Haas, he started in 2013. He's been through it, man. It was people like him that kept me going, you know. But my God, there's so many great books out there from the Bitcoin Standard. I'm working through the price of tomorrow from Jeff Fook, but we have their GG next week, so I have 21 lessons.
Oh hell yeah!
I've already ordered. We have Knut Svanholm is going to come on, so his book just arrived. So what I'm saying is, within Bitcoin Twitter, you quickly see who the real authors are. And those are the books that I would get to people. You got to get them some of those books.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, my idea or my experience has been that people are resistant to reading books in general, and they want audio or video. So there's a couple podcast episodes that I give them. I had been giving them the Citizen Bitcoin episode I did with Robert Breedlove, which was understanding Bitcoin time and money from first principles. It's like an hour and a half, and it's basically like the Bitcoin Standard in an hour and a half in a discussion. It goes through the history of money and what it actually is and its relation to time, and then how Bitcoin is actual money, the best money we've ever had. But I think Breedlove did an even better job doing that on Preston Pish's new Bitcoin podcast. It was like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
that was a great intro. So there's a few podcasts that I send out to people, a couple videos, but mainly I just say to them same advice as Puppy gives, just buy some, trust me, just buy $20 worth, right?
Yep.
Just get started, right? Download Cash App and buy $20 worth, whatever it takes, and get them going, because that's when you have skin in the game, you have a stake, and then you kind of just that bug, Bitcoin just starts taking over your mind, and you're just interested and you want to learn more.
So Brady, again, what was this YouTube you said that best described the Bitcoin Standard?
It was a podcast.
A podcast.
Yeah. Citizen Bitcoin episode. I don't remember which number it is, but it's Robert Breedlove, Understanding Bitcoin Time and Money from First Principles. It's one of the older ones. You have to scroll down the archive a bit. I could get the link for it to put in your show notes, but you can go to citizenbitcoin.world and scroll down for a bit. And you'll see Robert Breedlove. He's been on a couple times, but it's the first Breedlove episode. It was before he became had all this massive clout that he has now.
Yeah, I was early this year. I was sitting. Another Bitcoin buddy of mine had arranged a dinner, so we were sitting, four of us, having excellent steak at this excellent steakhouse with a view in the valley, and Breedlove was there. And to think about that now, that I was sitting discussing Bitcoin with Breedlove, and back then I was, as usual, very passionate, talking. I should have realized that was Breedlove. Should have opened my ears first and foremost. But we have him on the 8th of January, I think it is, Friday, 8th of January. Breedlove is coming on here. It's amazing which guests are coming on and wants to hang out with us, including you, Brady. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, this is fun. I like the hangout, shows and podcasts. That's my jam. That's where I want to be. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's funny. Anders and I, like I said, we've known him about 2 years now. And just a quick background on that was, we found out we were talking like an hour or two a day almost during the weekdays, just talking Bitcoin, and it didn't matter what was really happening. It's like we had preset just topics we wanted to hit. Like with you, we just come on and start talking. We realized, like, man, those 2 hours, 3 hours, they went by in like 10 minutes to me and to him, and everyone's just starved for Bitcoin talk. So that's another thing too. I'd recommend to people new to Bitcoin is if you see someone that you recognize and sort of trust, reach out to them because more than likely they're willing and wanting to help you out.
Yep. Yeah.
They really are.
I found that too when I started Citizen Bitcoin. Like I made a list of 10 people and I was like, if I can get these 10 people on my podcast, I'll be like off to a good start and maybe actually get some attention. And every one of them, you know, like we're happy to do it. The Breed Love episode is 52, episode 52. The 94 is a good one too. We went through another piece of his, but yeah, 52. Great one.
Right. Yeah. So we got the dog in the house as well now. Labrador. Hey. Yeah. So that's the good thing about Bitcoin. It really it seems it really brings out the best in people. You know, you always find Bitcoiners. It's a lot. It's a good action there in the background. Probably I'll hit the mute for 10 seconds here. You always find people wanting to help you in Bitcoin land, and people are happy to jump on your podcast or YouTube or whatever. It's pretty amazing.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I like the style you got going on here, and you got to keep getting all the toxic Bitcoiners on. Embrace that toxicity.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I told Bitcoin Magazine yesterday. Yeah. I think I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if I read Mark Musk right that he was, that we should, discuss and let other people have a say as well. But I might have misunderstood that. But I just think it's so important to be toxic towards what appears to be scams. To save people, to save their savings from going down the crypto hole that Puppy he went initially.
Yeah. I mean, there's a fucking hell of a lot here at stake, right? This is a big deal. Like, this is taking money back for the people. Like, this is the first time that we've had self-sovereign money where every single individual has access to final settlement, right? Like, never happened in the history of humankind. It's the fairest, best money we've ever had. And Bitcoin, money is the base layer of civilization, right? So it's important, really fucking important to get this right. And of course, like, when you're dealing with money, it's going to be like, it's the perfect thing for scamming, right? It's the exact perfect thing for scamming. There's no, like, you don't have to do anything else. You just make a shiny website and say, like, we're a better Bitcoin, and people will send you money. They're like, okay, I'll take that. I'm going to bet on that. And all these shitcoins skyrocket.
Diversification.
I love crypto. Anders knows.
Oh, dude, did you guys see today that the S&P or whatever is going to have a crypto index of 550 different coins? That's messed up, man. That's so messed up. That's going to do so much damage to people. Like,
it is. It's just like, okay, we cannot have a Bitcoin ETF to help people buy the only thing that has a future, but it's okay to create all these scam coins, scam indexes, and people are going to lose so much value on those 500 shit coins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're going to buy that index. Let's go buy. I mean, everyone buys the S&P 500, right? So now you're just going to go buy the S&P Crypto 550, right? Like, oh, such a bad idea. They do not understand what they're doing. And so many people are just going to get utterly wrecked, and they're going to hate S&P for it. So I don't know. It's a problem because they have such clout, right? With all of the entire investment community. Like, they're very Lindy in the investment world.
Well, it's always been a thing with Coinbase and Brian Armstrong. When I started, you had Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. You only had 4 coins available. Now, what do you have, like fucking 7,000 or whatever? But of course, we have unit bias. So I'm interested in your take on the unit bias, because people come in, Jesus, $20,000 Bitcoin. What the hell? This thing's only 35 cents. Maybe it'll take off like Bitcoin. Is there any way we ever we started with Sats to standard and all of this, but is there any way to transition over to Satoshis? And oh, there you go, my friend. Oh God. Is there any way you think that you can smoothly transition over to pricing Bitcoin at, well, I hate to say pricing, but putting it out there as Satoshis? Is there a way to do it? Or is it like, that ship has sailed and hey, buyer beware, buy
I think
Bitcoin?
it'll happen. I think it'll happen as the dollar value or the purchasing power of Bitcoin goes up. It'll just be more natural because when you started out, right, like you had that, 100 Bitcoin where like that was not that hard to own. The purchasing power was so small. So talking in like hundreds or thousands of Bitcoin made sense. Even tens of Bitcoin made sense for a long time. So I think we're just you're right. We have like all this infrastructure built around using Bitcoin, whole Bitcoins. So there is going to be some like resistance to that change, but I think it's inevitable because it's just like no one wants to talk about 0.0001 Bitcoin either.
Right.
And the unibias is real. So there's an incentive for real Bitcoin companies, right?
Yeah.
Unlike Coinbase, to start pricing in Sats because I'd much rather have 5,000 Sats for $1 than 0.00050 Bitcoin for $1. So yeah, and I think it'll happen. I mean, Swan, you can flip between Bitcoin and Sats, but we default to Bitcoin. I would like to see us default to Sats, and hopefully we'll do that at some point. But somebody's got to start,
Well, you know what? And look, and I'm not going to start a wallet war. I'm definitely not here. But I remember, I think Samurai Wallet was the first one where you can put it in Sats, which is because I downloaded and played around with that one. It was really cool. But yeah, they were the first one to, and that was like, and that's like not months ago. That was like probably 2 years ago that they did that, which was really cool. Yeah, so you can have it put out in Satoshis. But yeah, it's such a mind. I don't want to say the bad word for you there, Andrew. But it's such a mind fuck for guys to come on, or people to come on and say,
"Wait, are we not supposed to cuss on the Toxic Caviar?"
No. Okay, so Brady, let me summarize that.
Oh boy, here we go.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
No.
So in the beginning, Brady, I told Poppy, hey, listen, once a while we have some episodes that, we usually have great talks. We cover a lot of stuff that I want to share with, the people that follow me and copy me on eToro. But every show, 5-10 minutes into it, I'm like, all right, we can't put this one on eToro either. I stopped.
So Anders, you're gonna need a new show, bro. If you want to do that, you're gonna need a new show. You can't call it Toxic Happy Hour and be like, I want to have PG, Bitcoin education for my eToro followers.
So what I'm doing now is I have the link to my YouTube channel instead, and then. But I'm not feeding them these toxic shows. They can, if they have the interest, they can come and they can learn to become toximalists. But I'm not throwing it right in their face because I can't with PUBLORD on the show. I mean,
oh yeah.
Maria had a question here. Poppy, maybe you can help me. Last night in Bitcoin Magazine, you talked about diversification, how Bitcoin itself does it. Can you summarize that idea again? So I got to be honest, about 5-10 minutes into that show, I was quite intoxicated. I know you were as well, Poppy. So was that me? I think I spoke something about diversification, or was it you?
Well, if diversification means 100% Bitcoin, that was me. But yeah, or I don't know. Were we talking? I think you know what it was. I think it was a story of when I started, because I think it was the one where when I started, it was the whole diversification thing. You think of when you're going to invest, and I remembered I took my whole dollar amount and I put 25% Bitcoin, 25% Ethereum, because I had no idea what I'm doing at that time. I'm just, well, one of these has to take off, right?
What do you mean at that time?
What do you mean?
Oh, okay, keep going. It was a joke. Jesus, keep going.
Oh no. So at the time, I'm learning about quote unquote crypto. I see all these different currencies. I have no idea what they mean. So I'm here. I'll put some money in this one. This one. One of them's got to take off. But it was within 2 months of finding, people like Adam Meister, realizing. I said to myself, look, if Bitcoin doesn't go, I remember having this epiphany. If Bitcoin doesn't go, nothing's going right now. Bitcoin drives this train.
Yeah.
And that's the first thought. And I said, look, I'm going to go all in with Bitcoin right now. Screw all the other stuff. And the more, and of course, every day you read after that, or the more you learn, you realize you made the right choice.
Yep.
Right. Poppy, just before we go to Brady, I really want to pull Brady into the conversation again. As Maria was talking about that, you said that Bitcoin itself was diversification. Could that be, could we be onto something there?
Yeah. Okay. Well, at the time for me, look, it was the one thing I loved the most about it was when I first realized it was unconfiscatable. Sorry, we got some Jimmy Buffett going on in the background here.
It's all good.
Okay, so, hey, listen. So, no, what I mean is this: my diversification. Growing up, you know, when you own a home, you have a 401k, you have savings, you have different investments. To me, this was just another layer of diversification. Was Bitcoin, because it was such a different asset class to me. It's the first time I came across something that was truly unconfiscatable, something that like I literally own. Okay, they'll come, they'll garnish your wages, they'll take your house, they'll take your cars, they'll take your boats. This is the first time I found something that, hey, come and get it,
Yeah,
and they can't.
Brady, I remember when I first started talking to Puppy 2 years ago, the one thing he kept saying to me, this is the first time we have an asset that no one can take from you. We all come in at different angles and find something very valuable in Bitcoin. And the fact is there's so many things that are really valuable. Brady, why do you see that Bitcoin is the best money the world has ever seen? What do you think are the main like traits, or how would you describe it as the best money ever? Why is that the case?
I mean, it's all of those things that we talk about, you know, in the Bitcoin standard and bullish case for Bitcoin, and you know, Rob talks about it in his early work. It's the fact that it's unconfiscatable. It's freedom money, right? It frees us from the tyranny of fiat and central banking, which is time theft and tyrannical. So once you have like a basic, like the base layer of society operating on free money, like the sky's the limit, right? Like you actually have free markets. Like free markets are great because it incentivizes us to like be, you know, to generate wealth so we can channel our selfishness into selflessness, right? Because I'm going to use my desire to enrich myself to find solutions for the rest of humanity, right? And if I can do that in efficient, you know, like effective way, then I'm going to get wealthy, right? So that's great. I like free markets because of that. But free markets are shit on fiat money. And there's, you know, price signal distortion, all that stuff. So yeah, they just operate a lot better on sound money. I think that's why we're going to have a renaissance. We're going to experience a renaissance like era once, you know, Bitcoin is adopted more fully. And that, I mean, that's it. That's why it's the best money ever made. I mean, it's going to allow humanity to really express itself, and all of its, you know, our aspirations and ingenuity and all that stuff will be unleashed because it's being held back by manipulated shitty money.
I couldn't agree more. So can you how do you see society? What's society going to look like once we're on a Bitcoin standard? And like, when do you see that happening potentially?
All right, so like the U.S. dollar's lost 98% of its value in the last 100 years or something like that. We printed 20% of all the dollars that have ever existed in the history of the United States dollar in the past year. So yeah, I mean, you have a world where you can trust, you have a money that actually functions as a store of value, and you can trust that the wealth you're generating will be there or even increase in purchasing power over time. Then we will have to work a lot less. We won't have to spend most of our lives working for someone else who has access to this cheap money because they're at the top of the pyramid scheme. And so it just really entrenches their wealth and they have access to the capital, so they have access to investing in corporations and buying up other companies and other assets, and so that's why we have such a massive, wealth inequality, and it's really at root fiat money. So I see a world that's more equitable with a fair playing field. I see a world where I can spend 5, 10, 15 years working for someone else, and not even at 40 hours a week or 50, 60 hours a week, not having to work 2 or 3 jobs, and have my wealth actually grow and or at least be saved, and retained.
It will grow.
Yeah, it should
because
grow.
it's deflationary, right? The prices
will
go
grow.
down. Jeff Booth will explain on Tuesday in the Toxic Happy Hour. Prices will go down, so the savings you have will become worth more.
Right. So then you just work less, and then the reason the Renaissance was so cool was there were people were able to. There was 120, 30 years where there was actually a sound money standard that was enforced by a few big banking families, and there was definitely wealth inequality, but the money that people were earning was not being debased, and people were, at least a certain class of people, it was probably still 10 or 20% of people at that point, but it was a lot more than it was previously, were able to find time to really follow their passions, right? And then be rewarded for that. So I just see a world where we are, as individuals, able to spend more time on things we really want to do, whether that's your family or traveling the world or making something amazing, building electric car companies, rocket ships, going to Mars, all that stuff, exploring space.
No one is trying to do all of those things at the same time, Brady. Well, you're being unrealistic here. No one is doing spaceships and electric cars and Mars at the same time.
Well, I'm just saying, Elon Musk is living his best life, right? That's the kind of we can expect that more and more people will be able to do shit like that.
Unfortunately, I think there's not enough Elon Musk in the world, but there's more people that are just going to sit down with their time off, UBI is another great discussion, but they just turn it into more time for FIFA 2020. I'll just game in all day and wasting my life.
You play FIFA, Bubby?
No, I don't do video games, man.
Okay, I do. FIFA's the only video game I play. So.
Well, listen, man, I'm so old.
Plays FIFA. RD plays FIFA, I bet.
I already, not to say how old I am, but I remember Atari and television, stuff before Nintendo. I mean,
Commodore 64.
Commodore. Hey, do you know what the 64 meant there?
Yeah, 64.
It was the bytes or kilobytes or something, right? The memory.
64K of RAM.
Yeah.
But honestly, no, because look, I know my personality as far as it's going to be. I'll be sitting there 24/7 if I get involved in a game.
Yeah.
So. And hell, with great guests like Brady and everything else going on in Bitcoin Twitter, you think I got time for video games right now? That's what I'll do. I'll be lounging in the pool on Bitcoin Twitter all day with a drink when Bitcoin hits. Okay.
Hell yeah.
There.
I just want to say the show has been safe. Sorry?
I was just saying that Bitcoin Twitter is more entertaining than video games. That's for sure.
It is super entertaining. But see, I'm actually combining a little bit because here during COVID and social life has changed. I am spending some time at home, and there's this game that reminds me of mobile. That reminds me of a game that I played when I was a teenager. I'm doing pretty well there, and my name there is Bitcoin, and then the price in dollars. So I meet the same guys over and over again. And I'm just I'm doing well, right? So I keep just throwing Bitcoin, in their face and to build awareness, really. So I'm kind of telling myself that I'm, doing the good course. I just want to say that Plan Marcus, he managed to save the show. He found the red balloon in the chat. So Brady, there was a question from another of the really awesome sponsors that we have hanging out in the chat. Poppy here being one of them. There's Artie, there's Plan Markers, there's LabraHODL. But here's the question for you, Brady. When do you think we'll stop talking dollars and everything starts to be measured in sats?
I'm already doing it, bro. So, but like worldwide, 10 years feels about right for the dollar to completely die and go away, and Bitcoin to become the unit of account. There'll be it'll be a gradual thing, gradually then suddenly kind of thing. So I think over the next 10 years, the Bitcoin economy is going to grow and grow and grow. In terms of it'll be all hodlers for the next few years, but that'll grow more and more into like people trading Bitcoin to each other. And I think I do kind of buy into the parallel economy thing for a while until it's like Bitcoin is a Trojan horse. It just kind of like gets in the doors. I clipped something for the Swan Twitter account this morning. It was the acting officer of the comptroller of the currency. And he was on CNBC, and he was saying like, look, Bitcoin is too big. It's been adopted too widely, and it's too important. And he actually said that the store of value function is too important, that government won't ban it. Like, it just won't happen. So it's like past that point of return. That is like a head of a very like related regulatory agency in the United States saying that. So it's a Trojan horse, and it'll just kind of Trojan horse the US dollar as a unit of account over like the next 10 years, and all of a sudden it'll just like be everything. I could see like
is happy.
Sorry, one last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
One last thing. I could see like the start of it on the international scene will be like some regional countries deciding to price all of their international trade, like oil and shit, in Bitcoin.
Yep.
Like, I think that's going to happen. That'll really like move forward the future of Sats as the standard.
It's funny that you mentioned this, because like I say, Anders and I just talking for 2 years. We had this conversation, I think a year ago, because I asked, I said, well, not that I'm sure countries have thought about this, but how many countries like the US or China or Russia have gone to them and said, listen, you will not be doing this? How many countries have wanted to and have had the backdoor sort of pressure of, you will not be doing this or else?
Yeah.
I think countries are afraid to do this. Well,
you remember Iraq started trying to price oil in euros.
Yeah.
Early 2000. And and what happened? As soon as there was an opportunity, invasion.
Yeah, same with Gaddafi. Gaddafi was the same. Tried to have his. Message was sent.
Yep.
He was trying to do a gold standard money to base Libyan money on gold, and all of a sudden there was an uprising and funded by a lot of money coming from somewhere else, and he was killed in the desert. I remember seeing that video. Hard to unsee. But I guess if any country is going to do this, start using another money to price their things than the global reserve US dollars, it's going to be one of the countries that is not afraid to be attacked by US. I mean, China and Russia, I think, can be pretty sure that US is not start a war, right? Because they can do too much damage the other way.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't know, man. Depends on who's in power. Governments can do crazy things too, but just the U.S. is a little bit more decentralized than most. So, I think we're going to Trojan horse the government. I think we pretty much already have. So I definitely don't see a Bitcoin ban happening. There's a couple of bills that have been proposed recently, just like in the last couple of days, about stable coins and crypto in general. But Bitcoin is good to go, man. There's just too many people that it's entrenched. Yeah.
It's funny. Last night, Alexander was talking about, we're hanging out with the happy hour with the crypto magazine or Bitcoin magazine, but that was one of the topics was the stablecoin act. And I'm laughing because okay, great, whatever. What the hell is it? Because guess what? You can regulate the hell out of one of exchanges. We still got Bitcoin. Yep. Bitcoin is the outlier. It's the one thing that won't be controlled. Everyone will have it on the outside, and man, the black market for it will just drive the price through the roof.
Yep.
So I'm all for it. Yeah. You know what? Bring more regulation. Bring more regulation.
I mean, look what happened with trying to make alcohol and drugs illegal.
That worked out well. Yeah.
A government.
When are they going to learn?
Yeah, government can't stop something that the population want. Alcohol during the prohibition, people were still drinking alcohol, but what happens when it's banned is the price goes up by a factor, I don't know, 4x, 10x, something like that. The same with drugs the last 40 years. It will still be there, but anytime it's being pushed to the gray market, there's more risk in dealing with it, and therefore there's a big premium. So if you were wanted, if they banned Bitcoin, we would be at 100,000 by the end of the month. Sure, it might be difficult to, you can't send it to an exchange anymore. But if you have Bitcoin worth 100,000, maybe you'll go somewhere else where they'll embrace it, and all of a sudden, it's worth a lot.
1,000% there, man. And I always said that. Look, if I'm president of a country, prime minister, king, queen, whatever, the first thing I do is 0% taxes. 0% taxes on anyone that owns Bitcoin or anyone that brings anything, because all of that, guess what happens when you come to that country? You're going to restaurants, you're getting your hair cut, you're building businesses, spending your money. Exactly. Why the hell would I ever tax you? 0%.
Did someone say crypto magazine? Sorry.
Yeah, who said?
I got distracted by the chat. Yeah, I agree with that, Pubby. Like, and that's going to happen. It's already kind of happening. And you want to be the Bitcoin jurisdiction, the Bitcoin friendly jurisdiction. It's happening in Wyoming here. And, like Michael Saylor, is going to be looked at as a goddamn genius, because he did this first. So the country that does it first, same thing.
Yeah. However, in Wyoming, they still cannot run away from federal capital gains tax, right? I don't know. Do they have capital gains state-wise on Bitcoin
I don't
in
think
Wyoming?
So.
No.
Right. So there's only the federal left.
Yeah. I think that's probably the case in most states. I don't know. Probably not California.
No, capital gains is federal. But I think Portugal. I think there's a guy from Portugal that I think Portugal was very Bitcoin friendly.
Portugal, Germany, Malta, Switzerland, Monaco, I think Malaysia, Singapore, these countries are Bitcoin friendly. So apparently, Brady, I didn't hear it either. I think none of us heard it, but they heard it in the chat. And apparently, Puppy, he said Crypto Magazine. Lab.HODL is revealing it. Roll back the tape. Roll back the tape, as Parda says.
Damn, how did I not catch that? I was probably distracted by other shit.
Crypto Bitcoin Magazine. I think that's what it's called.
Hey, Poppy.Queen, when did you say Crypto Magazine? What are you thinking, man?
Oh, I'm thinking about blockchain technology. I love it. There's a lot of money to be made here.
Brady, I'm so sorry to have brought you onto a crypto podcast.
Hey, I do crypto podcasts. I just don't let crypto people on my show.
Yeah. No, it's good. We got to go out and spread the word about Bitcoin as much as possible. Although
do you know why? Honestly, because I have Twitter up next to me, and half the people I follow start with the name crypto, and there's a hot chick behind it. I just follow hot girls with crypto in their name. I'm a sucker.
Bots. So, they're all bots, or they're dudes. They're like dudes in the Philippines.
Yeah, but don't break Poppy's dream here, Brady. He spends 2 hours every day being up to date with BritFit Dance, watching the latest songs and dances.
Hey, like I say, man, can you disagree? Sailor is a bull. How can you disagree with that?
I mean, we love our 3-word memes. I saw somebody tweet this, right? Like, we love our 3-word memes. Why did we never think about just saying the same word 3 times?
Yeah. Oh, so let me jump in real quick here on Brady, because I like to, because your podcast says in Bitcoin, and I know you said you had your top 10 you wanted to get in. So who's the one you wanted but got away or haven't had yet, and who's the guest that you were the most surprised to get?
That's an interesting question. So I guess I was surprised to get Adam back because it was pretty early. It was a little show, and
nice.
Whoa.
It's fucking Adam back. So, but the cool thing is, you ask people, and it happens. So that was an amazing show. I probably talked like 3 minutes. Like I asked. It wasn't one of my like conversational shows. I just had very short, precise questions written down, and I just went through them, and he just like crushed everything. And he's one of those guys that just his mind wanders, and just it was fun just to hear him kind of going as he thought. We also had him on Swansea Live with Preston Pish, and that was a really great show.
I heard that, Brady. I saw that. I think it was the first time I saw Adam back on a podcast / YouTube. That guy is so intelligent. It's just
man.
And not only about programming, he understands like about economics and money, all of that. That guy is an all-round genius, Adam.
Almost like he could be Satoshi.
Yeah, well, he's listen. He's
a candidate.
My theory is there's a team Satoshi, and Adam Back is a part of that team.
Yeah,
so I mean, he's on there.
People wonder who Satoshi was, and it's not that hard. Like the list cannot be that long, right? Like
no,
these guys have been working on e-money for 25 years, and cryptography for 35 years, and so it's got to be one of 10 people or 3 of 10 people or something.
Yeah, I think there were 3 or 4. I just think there's just so much to wrap your head around with it for just one. No, but for 3 to come together and say, look, guys, this is for the betterment of the world. Let's do this, release it, and then we go our separate. Well, we'll stay involved in the community, but we don't claim anything that we've mined or anything else
until one of our lead maintainers goes and talks to the FBI. Then I'm out. Roger Ver, he's the rogue one. He decided to do his own thing. Yeah, well, that's when Satoshi ghosted. Was Gavin Andreessen was like one of the lead maintainers of the repo, and he was like, yeah, the FBI invited me to talk about Bitcoin. I'm gonna go tell them what it is all about.
Wow.
And
that's a great story, man. Because with us, it's sort of word of mouth. But next week, Jeff Booth is coming on the show. Which, if you would have told me, a month or 2 ago, I'd be talking to Jeff Booth. I'd be calling you crazy. So I was just interested. But you're absolutely right. That's how this community works. Some people most people are afraid to reach out to, but every single person I've sent just a quick message to, hey, do you want to have a crappy happy hour with us? They all do it. Come on. We have what's great. We have no introduction. We have no sponsors. We have nothing. But you want to come and just talk Bitcoin? Everyone says absolutely. Let's do it. Send me a date.
Yeah, man. I think I'd love to talk to Szabo. He does not do many shows. I think he takes speaking fees. When he does, he's gonna talk at Bitcoin 2021. I know he's taking a fee on that. He did a show with McCormick, and I think that might have also been paid thing. So I don't know. So he doesn't really like doing media.
I got Szabo on my team of 3. I got Szabo on there with Adam Back. But
and
have you? Yeah. So here's a question for you, and Anders noticed this too. Of course, I love anyone that ever gives me a follow, man. So I always click and see, who's this person? Do they tweet themselves? What kind of insight do they have? For some reason, it's uncanny the number of people that have less than 100 followers. Nick Szabo is following them. So I don't know what he does is every time I go around, I find, wait a second, because it's followed by me and Nick Szabo.
Are you sure it's the real Nick Szabo?
Well, yes, because it's the one that, yes, it is. Yeah. And Anders, you can talk to this, my friend.
Yeah, actually, thank you very much for giving me the word there, Puppy. No, Brady, I have a question for you, and that is, so as I want your take on this. As I understand, there's several pillars that Bitcoin stands on, and Nick Szabo sold a lot of those. When there was one left, he said, "Oh, this is too difficult. I'm going to draw back. I can't do this." At the same time that Nick Szabo withdraws from trying to make digital gold, out comes Satoshi and solves that last problem that Szabo said, I got to give up now. And so to me, the only reason people go, yeah, he's not Satoshi today is because they asked him and he said no. Duh, what do you expect? I mean, if you ask Satoshi, he's gonna say no, right?
Of course.
So what do you think? How realistic do you think that Nick Szabo might be Satoshi?
Yeah, I think he might be part of it. I don't know if Nick is a coder. I don't think he is. I think he's more of like a system designer. So Hal was a good coder. So yeah, I think Hal was a part of the squad. He was also the first miner. Got the first transaction.
So that was my top. That was my top three. Was Adam Back with Nick and Hal Finney. Those are my three. Because Hal had the heart for it, dude. I mean, unfortunately, I came too late to the game to ever interact with him. But man, that guy, I mean, he had the heart of gold, and that's the kind of dude he was. So he's the heart and soul of Bitcoin. Honestly,
absolutely, 100%, man. Yeah. And the last piece of the puzzle was, well, one of them was peer-to-peer networking, like BitTorrent protocol, and like that had to be around to solve the kind of the time stamping problem, right? Because the whole basically mining system and the node system is peer-to-peer, runs on a peer-to-peer network. So that came out in like 2003. I think BitTorrent was built by Bram Cohen. So 5-6 years later, so that was a big piece of the puzzle that didn't really exist until 2003. So yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look, Brady, man. This is a happy hour show. We don't need a college level education here.
I hear you, Pubby.
Maria has a really relevant question. This is something we've discussed many times before in Toxic Happy Hour. Are you guys going to be at Bitcoin 2021? Actually, in the show notes below, if you're paying with Dirty Fiat, we have a code that gives you 21% off on the general admission tickets. We don't make any money of it. We just want to hang out with Bitcoiners. And the code is Toxic21. That will give you 21% of Bitcoin 2021. I will be there next year. Brady, are you going to be at the Bitcoin 2021?
Yeah. Swan's going to have a big presence. We have a spot called the Swan Lounge because I'm going to actually head there in 2 minutes to our show, the Swan Lounge. But we're going to have a physical Swan Lounge at the Bitcoin 2021 conference. It's like a enclosed space, couches, TV. We have big plans for it. It's going to be a ton of fun. So yeah, we'll definitely be there. The whole squad will be there.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't wait to finally meet you in person then, Brady, because I'll be there. I'll come hang out in the lounge, in the Swan Lounge for sure.
I haven't met anybody I work with in person.
Right. So it's just, imagine the world before the internet, and now you got a full-time job with people you've never met.
Yeah, I mean, I met Corey very briefly at Bitcoin 2019. I met several, I think I may have met Jan and Brecky, but I didn't hang out with them at all. It was like an introduction and whatever. But yeah, it was. I didn't know these guys at all until in any meaningful way. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but it's cool. It's a new world, brave new world we're in.
Absolutely.
All right, I am gonna head over and hang out with the Casa team.
Sounds good.
On the Swan Signal channel. This was a ton of fun, guys. Let's do it again.
Yeah, Brady, thanks a lot for coming on.
Absolutely, man.
Such a nice guy with so much information and knowledge, understanding. It's really a pleasure to hang out with you. So before you go, please give us final words and your plugs, and also you can let people know about the lounge that you're going to. That's another show that they can be watching. Take it away.
SwanBitcoin.com/Brady. Start stacking sats. You'll get $10 dropped your way. And YouTube.com/Swan Signal. That's our YouTube channel. That's where I'm heading right now. We're gonna have a lounge. It's our version of the happy hour with the Casa team. Several people from the Casa team, and that's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna head over there now.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much for coming on, Brady. Puppy, do you have any final words you want to say to Brady?
No, it's been a long time coming. I think we had one of these scheduled before, and with my travels, I just couldn't make it.
Yep. I did it with Anders.
Yeah. Sorry you had to deal with that.
You ghosted on me, man. You left me hanging with Anders all alone.
Yeah. So you get 90% Anders and 10% Brady on that one. So no, man, no, just good to meet you. Yeah, can't wait. Moving forward, to see this next year to me from 20,000 moving up. Can't wait. Can't wait to see
man,
it. So
it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be wild.
I know you got to go, man. So
I'm gonna do several toxic happy hours all the way up with you guys. It's gonna be fun.
All the way to 20 million, Brady. We're counting on you all the way to 20 million.
21
thanks a lot, man.
See ya.
21 million? Sure, why not? $21 million.
Cheers, man.
Well, shout out to the chat too. You guys do have the best chat. That was a ton of fun hanging out with you guys.
You're great. Thanks, Brady. See you on the next one. Bye. So, Puppy, I'm thinking now, should I tell you that we're still live or should I pretend that it's done?
Yeah, I can already see us live, man. We're good.
Yeah, we're live. I do have things I gotta get done. That's why I'm not on alcohol today. I really gotta.
Good for you.
I'm not a great reader in terms of.
I know.
I know you know.
Yeah.
I gotta spend some time on this baby. But I got time. I got some time. So let's see what we got going. So Maria, what about yourself and your husband? Are you coming to Bitcoin 2021? You asked if we're going to be there. Can you let us know if you're going? I think maybe that is the answer.
I saw Greggy just went out there and said, make sure that you do something to the whole Swan team, which I don't know if that's...
Make sure you at the whole Swan team.
Wow. Hey, great.
Greggy,
it's a family show.
It's a
family show.
Do you know what he means by that, or?
Well, I think knowing him, I know what he means. I don't think it's appropriate for our show.
In fact, in many ways, Greg is not appropriate, I think, for our show, is he?
I mean, who's going to add a whole team?
Greggy has been on before. It was great to meet him there. That's where I, famously stepped in the spinach by mixing Woodford Reserve with some of this stuff, Diet Pepsi. And as I've told you, Puppy, we want to have, I want you to arrange a time where you two hamsters can work it out together and the three of us do a toxic happy hour. So, Greggy, I want you on. Get your hamster wheel together.
Look, listen. You're the guy on the weekdays. He's the guy on the weekends that has it free, or vice versa.
No. Look,
weekdays he can't do, and you can't. Weekends that you're busy. So you guys get together. Let me know.
No. So in the late afternoon, like when he gets off work, I think he's off work 6 p.m.
6 late. That's evening.
Yeah,
that's
the
evening,
thing is,
my friend.
You can't do it. So I guess it's just not going to happen.
Well, because you got other time, but I could probably do like last night when we did. I could probably do like an 8 p.m. thing one night. If that works for you guys, I'll do another one.
All right. So, Greggy, there you have it. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Maybe we.
Probably not on Tuesday though, Greggy, because I mean, hell. I'll be coming down off a high of talking to Jeff Booth, all right, and I'll probably just need a few minutes that evening to relax. But we'll work you in another night for sure.
Yeah. All right, Poppy. Should we? I'm wondering why people are not locking off. We still have 12 live people. We got 0 content left. Brady's gone.
Listen, 0 content. We've been.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about the crypto content.
Hey, crypto. Hey.
I find out. I saw in the chat. I think this thing about Crypto Magazine was when you were describing that yesterday we were on the Bitcoin Magazine show. I think you might have misspoken yet again and said Crypto Magazine. Don't tell CK, because that's the last time ever you're going to be in Bitcoin Magazine.
Hey, man. So, you know, I wish I could say I could misspeak, but the first time I misspoke, you were really trying to generate some action in the group chat for everyone to hop on that crypto train, but they didn't. So now they got another shot. One more time.
Wait, what?
Oh,
I don't know what you just said. All I can see is that Greg says that he's all in. We'll do that 8 p.m. Eastern, Toxic Happy Hour soon.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you know what? Let's do it. Does he want to do it after Jeff Booth? Does he want to do it that night?
Yeah, Tuesday could be good.
Okay.
I mean, let's see what Greggy says.
Or listen, or maybe we do it Thursday after Dare Gigi. I don't know. We have options. We have options.
Greggy, we'll see if we can fit you in between Jeff Booth and Dare Gigi. And what else? Okay, so why don't we just go through and let people know what's coming up. It's pretty mind blowing, to be honest. Actually, on Monday, you and I finally have a show alone together, which I look forward to. I've told you we need to have some of that quality time, puppy.
That's what we're doing now.
It is. And then, so Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, you and I go. Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, we got Jeff Booth. Thursday next week, we have Dare Gigi. Again, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then we have Mr. Breedlove, Robert Breedlove, the philosopher of Bitcoin, on Friday, the 8th of January, 3 o'clock Pacific time PM.
So, and I know we have many, as we call them, irons in the fire. We have other things out there we're looking at. We just got to gavel down over the holidays. Everyone's got holiday plans, you know.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
We got a schedule. We have some more even. Really very interesting people coming on. We just haven't put them. Scheduled it in the calendar yet. And Greggy says he's happy to be our sloppy seconds. So maybe Puppy, maybe you can teach Greg some memeing.
Oh, listen, I've tried. But you know, much like a vessel must be open to accept water or a drink, his heart is closed. His heart is closed, and he will not take instruction.
I love how, so right now, Greggy, he can't defend himself, and he's being bashed on the Toxic Happy Hour. He is in the chat, though. Greggy, I look forward to, so next week, so it's going to be Tuesday or Thursday, we'll do a double Toxic Happy Hour, starting with one of those big names, and we'll have Greggy in for the after party. And let's face it, after party is often, you know, a lot of fun.
There's always good stuff on the after party. But how cool! Listen, man. You know, I put out that shitty meme earlier. Well, it's not even a meme, just a video, just a laugh video. But how cool!
No, that is a meme. That is
that's a meme. But I'm laughing at it. Jeff Booth is like all in on it. You know, he's a cool guy already.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? I want to share that actually with people because I've been thinking about this. You guys are so good at memeing, and I wanna you know, share that richness of meme quality that you, Greggy, RD, Plan Marcus, Labra.HODL, I mean the 5 of you that you bring to the table, and let me. Okay, I will share screen and I will get that meme that you did today.
Thanks. Yeah. Like, you know what's interesting. Originally, it was a 48-second clip. Okay. I went back and somehow the first 4 seconds were removed. So
can you wait? Can you see this on the screen?
Yep,
You can
I
see it
got
on the screen, right? So let me just. Oh, there's no sound on this one, but let's take it from the beginning, and then people can just see it for themselves.
No, there's no sound. It's just a GIF.
Okay, wait. Let me just first I'll pause it and just explain. So what we have here is well, we've got Jeff Booth coming on Tuesday, and Poppy put this meme together, kind of scaring Jeff a little bit, I think, before coming on, but to give him an idea of what the Toxic Happy Hour is all about.
So
okay, let's take it from the beginning here.
So no. I got to start here.
Okay, you got to explain first. Okay,
I got to explain something.
Back to the beginning. You got it.
Yeah. So listen. So they cut off like the first 4 seconds of the video, which had the first character saying, "This is it. Bitcoin has escape velocity."
Right.
So there was a whole section of Pubby saying there's escape velocity, and then it starts with you coming back with the video.
What are you talking about right now?
The first part of the video.
Yeah.
They cut off the first 4 seconds. So when you're hitting
Who
play,
cut it off?
Someone on Twitter. It changed today. The one this is for some reason this is not the original I uploaded, which was 48 seconds long. So I'm trying to tell you, it doesn't make sense if you're just reading it from here. You have to think. The 4 seconds before this video started was Pubby saying, "Hey, listen, we have escape velocity now." Now start the video.
I got now I understand what you're saying. So maybe you can have some of the qualified memers in our crew explain to you how you put a meme together and put it up there, and you get all of it up there.
Well, it was up there. It was up there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Hey, I can only do so much.
So no, you're doing phenomenal. I mean, let's take a look at it. So knowing that this starts off with you saying that we're reaching escape velocity.
We're reaching escape velocity, and then here comes Anders.
Okay, so let's say we're reaching escape velocity, and here we go. We don't know that, I say. It's always a pullback. You know I'm right, puppy.
God.
Deflation? And beer, yeah. All right.
But yeah, the first part is now missing. I don't know why. Anyway, hey, Jeff Booth liked it, saw it. Hey, that's what else can you say?
Absolutely. All right. So since we're still going on, Poppy, let's talk about price. Let's talk about because when we talk about price, we're not talking about making profits in dirty fiat. Greggy, that goes out to you. Dirty feet. We're not talking about making profit in dirty feet. We're talking about really measuring how far Bitcoin is in disrupting monetary system. The fact that right now Bitcoin is at about 1/4 to 1/3 of a percent of global monetary value. It's still so small, very small, and therefore price to me is interesting because it is a measurement of, first of all, is Bitcoin taking market share or not? And yes, it is taking market share. And how far are we in taking over as money of the world? And that's what we are when the price is increasing. And that's why I say once we hit $2-3 million per Bitcoin, the percentage of global monetary value will be so significant. We're talking about 40% of global monetary value that it can no longer be ignored. And since it's sucking value out of fiat, and in my opinion, therefore, by this stage, supermarkets and other places will accept Bitcoin as well because it is the biggest money in the world. And because they now accept both, they want more fiat, dirty fiat for the same goods they're selling. So if you have Bitcoin sucking out 40% of the value of fiat currency, you'll see fiat inflation. You'll see fiat inflation rise high, which will be self-enforcing positive circle for Bitcoin. And that's why, for me, I mean, you reach $1 or $2 million, maybe 2 million. That's definitely escape velocity. The big question right now is really if we have escape velocity in this halving cycle or the next. That's what you and I are discussing. That's what we made a bet on. We made the bet with Greg as well.
Hey man, yeah. So if it doesn't reach escape velocity in a cycle, that means there's a lot of dumbass CEOs in the world. Because I'll tell you what, the Michael Saylors have already doubled their money, in all intents and purposes. What 11,100 for Bitcoin? We're pushing 20,000. How does it not go? That's my question. You have to. Someone has to prove to me why in the world don't you go all in right now? When you see negative yielding bonds and your co-host just messing around offline with something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I'm
joking with that. No.
So, I know.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the best chat in this space.
So listen, here's my point. At the end of the day, man, there's nowhere else first place to go but up. If this is $100,000, you're telling me like people are going to ignore it? I get up to $10,000, and look, we had a spike to 10,000 in early 2018. I got it, or late 2017. But now, after 11, 12 years, you get that pump up where we think it'll go to 100,000, and every company or small nation state in the world sees this, they got to go all in. There's no choice left. So yes, I'm all about escape velocity this cycle by the next halving.
The next halving.
Yes, what you'll see here is up to the $200,000, $300,000 range, and it doesn't pull back like you say, like our bet suggests. It'll pull back maybe 20%, 25%, and then guess what happens? Everyone with any kind of brain looks at past performance and realizes, look, it may drop a bit more, we're not sure, and they will FOMO in at that point, and then it'll just be a moonshot. It's pulling back on your bow so hard, pulling back that you can't pull back any further, and it's going to release that arrow so hard, so fast, it's going to blow people away.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. To me, it's kind of like the only unknown in Bitcoin right now. I mean, I'm probably simplifying things, but the one thing that I keep pondering about is whether what this bull run will, if it will reach just go vertical, or if there'll be that bear market or pullback at a certain size. That's what's really interesting. So Anjo just joined us, came from work. He's saying hello to all Bitcoin warriors. And Anjo, I'm so sorry. We actually this is just the aftermath of the show. We had Brady on for 1.5 hours. Right now, Puppy and I just killing time talking about price. And just this is kind of the after party, I guess. And it's beer time. It absolutely is. It's Friday. So, but you know what, Poppy? I kind of, Anjo, you can see it from the beginning. That's when we had Brady on. I really need to get working on this one. I mean, I've read more than half, but I need to get through it before Tuesday when we have the author Jeff Booth on, who was the center of the meme that we took up before on the screen. So, Poppy, I think we got it. I have too many things I got to.
Good to go. Yeah, finishing up, man.
Pages.
Yep.
So, hey, man, good to hang out with you again. As always, a lot of fun. Great to have Brady on. And the chat, what can I say? You guys are making it happen. You guys are making it fun to do this. Right, puppy?
Hey, listen, man. Those guys, they're the ones that make the whole thing go together. There's a famous quote from a guy. He used to be a baseball player in America named Darryl Strawberry, and basically he played for the New York Yankees, but he had a bunch of attitude. But they're talking about the Yankees were always just crazy characters, and they were a big cocktail. They were a big drink. And so a reporter asked him about his role, and he says, "I'm the stir that is there to make the drink go round." And that's the people in the comments section, man. And they're the stir that make this show go round. We're just up here talking. They're down there having the best time.
Yeah, I know, but well, I mean, so are we. But yeah, I think what is fun is bringing up chats during the show to to have that interaction with our great and fun minds in the chat. It's really an important. But I really enjoy sitting looking at the chat. Picking. I may miss some because we sure have more and more people in the chat every time, pretty much. But I try to bring the good ones up on the screen and interact with. As Bitcoin Cam says, he believes 30 to 50% pullback this time, not 80 like before. I agree. I don't think it'll be an 80% pullback those days. Over the last one had 85%.
You believe more than 50, though. You believe more than 50.
Yep. That's the bet.
For the bet, you believe. You may not believe it now, and they consign yourself to losing. But
what happened after I made the bet with Greggy and you was that Plan B retweeted how the price in this bull run, how the graph was showing the price in this bull run actually is rising faster than the last one. I point to quantitative easing on steroids, same way as it has pushed stocks further, it's pushed real estate further, and also it has added to that normal halving growth of the price. To such an extent that, I am now wondering if there will even be that bear market, if we'll see that 50%. I mean, so far we're still to see the first 30% correction in this bull market, having bull run, right? We haven't seen the first 30%. We didn't even see 20 yet. And it may have to do with BitMEX having been sued. A lot of people have found the Bitcoin out there, so there's a lot less leverage in play. So there's less leverage longs to get liquidated, which forces people that are overly optimistic to basically sell their Bitcoin on the market because they're stopped out, which creates a bigger correction when they happen. And maybe because we have that less leverage in the market, that's the reason we're not seeing 30% corrections. It could be part of it. Oh wait, did I say something that I need to put back? Not sure what that is. Probably everything. Puppy, let's do some final work because we have another show Monday, just you and I, which I absolutely definitely look forward to.
Let's do Jeff Booth on Tuesday, and then a low ranking memer Tuesday evening. So yeah, we got some stuff coming up here. No, so seriously, look, I'm trying to think. I remember that at that $9,000 price, because everyone likes number go up, and I thought, 2 months we were just dragging along the bottom, or by the bottom, it's when you go out troll fishing, you're letting it out, and that bait is just bouncing on the bottom of the water, and that's what it felt like. I feel the same way here. I think at 19,000, everyone that wants to sell is selling right now, and there are so many more buyers. So probably going to go out on a limb. And December 25th, I'll go out for $25,000 Bitcoin by Christmas. Merry Christmas, my friend. Yeah, well over 20. Yeah, because once it breaks that 20,000, that mental barrier, it reminds me of the time when Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. Doctors had said it was humanly impossible. Well, guess what? The minute he did it, you had another 15 people that did it within a year. It cleared that mental hurdle.
It's all up here.
Yeah,
Everything is in your
yep,
head. Everything you see,
yep,
as Steve Jobs said from Apple,
yeah,
the founder or co-founder of Apple, all those amazing things we see around us are all built, created by just normal people. It's all created
yep,
by someone. It's all
yep,
about what you believe up here. And
yep.
if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Anything can be done because it's just being done by normal people. So that mental
So,
barrier is so
yeah,
important. I was gonna go out on that note because I think it was a
yep,
great last line. But let's. I can hear you have
yep.
more.
No, yeah. So, no, what I'm saying is this: um, at 20,000, okay, that changes the mindset of how many companies and countries are thinking this is dead. Because remember, because I started at 17,000. I started at top 19. I stuck all the way down and back. Now, at 20,000, it's validation. This is Bitcoin validation, man, that it's not going away. It just took the biggest body punches ever. It rode it out for 3 years, and guess what? It's now over 20,000, a great store value, and that's when people pile in. So at 20,000 is a key mark because after 20, there's open roads ahead. There's nothing else to stop it at all.
Right. I agree. It's definitely a that previous all-time high that many people have in their mind is
Yeah,
20K, even though it
yeah,
was actually a little bit below.
yeah.
I don't think it ever touched 20K on any
Nope,
exchange. It got
nope,
close. It got
nope.
close. So
Got close.
definitely that'll be a mental barrier, and from
Yep,
then it's off to the races. So I think that
yep,
on the note of Poppy promising, well, not financial advice. This is just opinion and education and
yes.
maybe entertainment. But on that note, that Poppy
Yeah,
believes that we'll have $20,000 Bitcoin before Christmas. I
yep,
think it's a great way to end the show. And also remember, everyone out there, that don't hold more value in fiat currency than you can afford to lose, because that is a built-in policy. They want
yep.
to suck the value out of your savings. So don't store more value in fiat currency that you are willing to lose. And on that note, also, the last words go to the first ever female in the Toxic Happy Hour chat. Maria saying Merry Christmas. Happy HODL days. Like
I
it.
like that.
Nice, nice. So,
Hey, thanks, Maria.
yeah, Maria,
That's cool.
thanks. Thanks to all of you guys, all the sausages in the chat. See you on the next one, which is Monday, 11 a.m. PST with Poppy and I. Bye.